Hello guys, this is Richie Kochi again and welcome to another video guys. Again, like, subscribe guys and leave a comment on the video. And yeah guys, I hope you're good. I hope you enjoy your evening. And yeah guys, I'm going to be talking about the Kaizer Chiefs versus Scottland FC game. And yeah guys, we're going to give you my post-match reaction to that. Like I said, again guys, I hope all of you have had an amazing weekend. And yeah guys, I'm just going to give my tactical analysis, my viewpoint from what I noticed from the game, certain things that I've picked up. And yeah guys, we're going to be talking about it and giving my reaction from there. Once again guys, I want to say congratulations for Kaizer Chiefs for winning the game. Of course they won. Yes, as much as it's a preseason game, they won the Toyota Cup against Scottland FC. And yeah guys, I'm just going to be giving my thoughts and my viewpoints on that. From what I could see guys in the game, Kaizer Chiefs played in a 4-2-3-1, similar shape from Scottland FC. They played in a 4-2-3-1. But I wanna start with this thing guys. From what you saw in the game guys, let's be honest. What is different about Kaizer Chiefs from what you saw to what you saw last season? Let's just be really honest, guys. Do you see any difference in the way that Kaizer Chiefs is playing in terms of their building up scheme, their passing, the way they attack? It's just a question for you guys. And because for me, I don't see it, guys. I don't see anything like that. But we'll dive into that. First of all, I'll talk in terms of the back line and my thoughts inside the game. The game was a tight game. Was a difficult game to watch because teams didn't really keep possession for a large periods of game. Kaizer Chiefs and Scotland were always fighting with each other. There wasn't generally a team that had a lot of dominance in terms of the way the game was. They dominated the game. As such, if you noticed guys, it was generally a game that was a turnover game, a team that was dictated on turnovers. Kaizer Chiefs, we'll start with at the back line, we'll start with the building up. Kaizer Chiefs generally build up in a three at the back. You would notice, and it's something that they took from last season, guys. That's why I say, has there been any difference? Kaizer Chiefs build up in an asymmetrical way where one of the fullbacks drops inside and then the other fullback overlaps. And from the back four, because they were playing with a cross, they were playing with Frostless, the fullback, which was a surprise. As a left fullback, they were playing Msimango, Miguel, and they were playing Monyani as the back four. You could see that it was there just to create a bit of balance in terms of the way that they were passing. So Frostless dropped in deep, and then you saw Monyani attack. And overlap, and was given more of the attacking responsibilities. In the midfield, Kaizer Chiefs with Bitakago was given Esteban Mahoy. In attack, they were playing with Fono Vilakash as a right winger, they were playing with Veleba as a left winger, they were playing with Ethan Chislet as a number 10, and then they were also playing with Flavio Silva as a striker. So that was basically their base system and how they set up in the game. In terms of how the game evolved and developed for Chiefs, there wasn't really much, guys. And I have to be honest and say that it was a very poor performance from Chiefs. I thought that there would be aspects of the game that they would bring that are slightly different to what they did last season. But again, the biggest thing that I took from the game was the fact that now, instead of their attacking and their midfielders having a bit more freedom to move and have that freedom to move around, Kaizer Chiefs were quite rigid. You found that Velebai and Fondo Velekas kept their width. You saw Peter Geko and Maboy, they always were standing close to each other. They were standing on the same line, and they struggled as such to be able to get through the press of Scotland when they did press. They didn't press as much, but when Kaizer Chiefs had the ball and they were able to play through, they didn't play through in a way that was quite dynamic and quite different. They built up in a normal way. They played with their two central midfielders, but The biggest thing that was there was that sometimes you'd find that Flavio Silva would drop inside and drop into that pocket, into that midfield area, and you would see that Brendan Preseason would always try to hit that long ball, and Kaizer Chiefs would try to play off the fullback, would try to play off the second balls. And the other thing that you noticed was Cross and Miguel were always trying to hit long balls to either our wingers or either to our strikers to always try and get in behind. Ethan Chislett was the one who was given a bit of freedom in order to float whenever he could, in order to be able to get in that area. But there wasn't a lot of movement, there wasn't a lot of dynamism in terms of what they were doing. Everything was quite rigid and quite structured, and because it was there, it was very easy for Scotland to understand how to mark them, because Kaizer Chiefs showed them the same picture again and again. So, and the biggest problem for me, guys, was the fact that in the midfield, Kaizer Chiefs did not play. When they did get the ball, like one of the biggest things that I've said that was a worry for me is their passing, especially when they get into the half of Scotland and to the final third, was very poor, guys. And that's why I say that we have to be honest in our viewpoints as fans and say, has there been any difference? Because again, the passing of Kaizer Chiefs is very poor. They do not play with a lot of passing patterns. They don't have a lot of passing schemes or passing habits where you can see that when he moves, when maybe Bitogago gets the ball, he drops inside to take the ball. Maybe you'll find that Mawolo will spin in behind and occupy the half space in another area. They were always standing in the same line. You'd find that Flavio Silva would always be the one to drop inside. You'd always see the Chislett being the one always dropping and always trying to play onto the left-hand side more often than not. He was always trying to make runs into the left-hand side and overload that area of the pitch with the Velebaya. Velebaya was the one when Kaizer Chiefs did get the ball from 10 over or from Scotland making a mistake, when Chiefs did press them, that's when you would see that Velebaya would take the ball and they would move at pace. And that thing that I was talking about, Kaizer Chiefs moving at pace, but not playing with the ball at pace, with speed, with no high, with a bit of understanding and control. And because they were playing a lot at pace and they were playing over 10 over ball, they lost the ball also. As quick as they got it was as quick as they lost it, because there wasn't any framework that they were playing according to. And that was the frustration for me, because it was the same thing that they were doing last season. Whenever they got into the final third, after 2 or 3 passes, they get the ball. Scotland would get the ball, and there wasn't any dynamism. When Kaizer Chiefs did get the ball and switch it out to the right wing, you'd find that Mfundo Vulakas would get the ball, but then Munyan would always make that run in between the opposition fullback and the centre back. That run, that underlapping run, and try to cut the ball back. That was the thing that you could see that was what they were trying to do. But it was something that I've noticed from the previous season. And, I just wanted to see Kaizer Chiefs have some different pictures, play, especially in possession of the ball. I want a team that has the arrogance. I want Kaizer Chiefs to have the arrogance on the ball, to be able to play, to be able to move the ball with cohesion, have a bit of conviction in their passing, have a bit of cohesion in their movement, have a bit of dynamism in what they are trying to do. But whatever they were doing was quite frail and lax. Our attacking players didn't really create a lot. They didn't play with that. And their goal, if you notice that the goal Kaizer Chiefs scored, they played the long ball into Ethan Chislett, be that run, tried to behind the defense. They got the ball. Kaizer Chiefs played from the second ball. The Scotland defender made the mistake, and then it was a good finish from Mfundo Vilakazi. But besides that, there wasn't really much, guys, that Kaizer Chiefs created. That was the only clear-cut shot that they got in the first half. In the second half, besides the cross from Frosler to Igodaro and the 2 chances that Duba got, which he scuffed and didn't have the composure, they still did not show a level of quality in the final third. And I will say this, guys, you have to have quality when you get to the final third. Whether it's quality in your passing, quality in your movement, quality in your passing patterns, quality in your building up schemes, and your rotations, there has to be quality in that. But Kaizer Chiefs do not have that. They don't show that well enough. And they do it in moments. Again, like I said, guys, from my previous video, they will do it for 2 minutes, and then for the next 20 minutes, the game will be a basketball game. And it becomes a struggle to build any momentum into the game. In the second half, they brought in Duba, they changed Mfundo Vilakazi, they took him to the left winger, they brought in Ikodaro. But then the game, it didn't really change much. From what I noticed, the game actually even got worse for Chiefs, because then Scotland got more of the ball from their first team. And in the first half, you have to remember, Scotland was playing as B team. And Kaizer Chiefs was struggling to keep the ball against their B team. Yes, when they did have the ball, they didn't do much with it. And in the second half, Scotland had more of the ball. They were trying to play, as you could see, but I just think the lack of quality in also Scotland was also quite clear to see. Obviously, there were good parts from Kamabiliat and Knowledge Musono, but you could also see that they were not really fit. But you could see that the second half team from Scotland was a lot better in terms of quality. And Kaizer Chiefs didn't really create much. The only times that they created was when they were playing on transitions and on the break in the last 10 to 15 minutes. But they didn't do much in terms of their passing. They didn't do much in terms of what they're creating clear-cut chances. And the other second thing that I would say that, guys, is a big worry for me is the changes. Have you noticed that? And I want us to be honest in this. The changes that Chiefs made in the second half to bring the players on, they didn't make any difference. Because Kaizer Chiefs, for me, already have an average team. I'm just being honest. They have average team. They have 1 or 2 players that have quality. But they're an average, above average team, let's just say. The players that came in the second half were not players that you could say are better than the ones or can make a difference to change the game. You know, Duba didn't really do much. The 2-3 times he got the ball, he lost the ball. Vilakazi became flat of the second half. Ikodaro, yes, he dropped into the middle field and was trying to play, but because every other player was so far away from him, he couldn't really combine with the players around him, because he had a lot of players around him. And Kaizer Chiefs, as I said, they don't occupy the central attacking zones. They don't occupy them with players in a stylistic way. And because of that, you find that Ikodaro, when he gets the ball in the middle field, is generally isolated. When he gets the ball, he was always trying to switch the ball out wide and trying to put in crosses, but they didn't really do anything with any conviction. And I think it's the players also, guys, you have to look at and say that some of the players that Kaizer Chiefs have in the team are not good enough for the team. And I think if they play the way that they played in this game, in the games that are going to come in the league, they're going to struggle again. And there's a lot of investment that has to be made in the team. We can't show our level of love for the club and not speak honestly about what needs to happen, guys. They have to invest into the team with high quality. There are players that are there. There are some players that are there that are good, but in general, there wasn't anything that I could see that showed me that there's going to be a high level of improvement. Obviously, it's the last game of preseason. Obviously, there are players that are going to come, but the fear for me is the fact that the players and also their way of playing is not really going to improve so much from what they have. And the players, the Kaizer Chiefs, have been the players that they had for 3 or 4 seasons, and they have not improved as such. And from the game today, they haven't shown that they are also going to improve. There's a lot of aspects in the game that need to be polished. Defensive-wise, if there's one improvement, I could say that when Kaizer Chiefs defended in a lower block or in a mid-block, Scotland struggled to break them down, which was good. They kept their shape well enough. But in attack, and especially going forward, they are still far behind from Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. They still don't have a lot of sophistication and quality in their game that can make them a quality threat for Sundowns and Orlando Pirates in the league. And yeah, guys, there's still a lot of investment that needs to be made. I also think, guys, adding to that, I do also think that Kaizer Chiefs need another central midfielder. And a central midfielder that is different in terms of profile to the players that they have, because Ndlovu, Maboyi, Ntetwa, Pitekako, and those players are quite similar. They are box-to-box players, but they don't have that type of player that has the arrogance in the ball. And also from what you could see, as much as Chiefs led, I think from Kaizer Chiefs was their player that probably showed good moments. The Kaizer Chiefs still doesn't have player in that number 10 and that number 8 role that has the arrogance and the ability to dictate the gameplay. A player like Tebogo Mokoena, or let me just say specifically Marcelo Allende from Sundowns, and Tebogo Mokoena from Sundowns, from Orlando Pirates, and Bata plays that role very well. Kaizer Chiefs do not have that player. A Sipomboli, let's say, a player that can pick up the tempo of the game, is very skillful, can play in the half spaces, can play on the half turn, is skillful, can pass, can move, can drop into the pockets and make the team tick. And also in the number 10 role, they're struggling with that player like a Tembazona, like a Petri. Similar things that I've been talking about, they still lack that capacity. And if they do not add those types of profiles in the team, they are still going to struggle, because you need to have that arrogance. For Kaizer Chiefs, we need players with the arrogance and the quality to be able to play and make the teams be scared of us. I don't see, from what I saw, teams being afraid of Kaizer Chiefs. As such, I think teams will feel comfortable enough to play against them, but there's still a lot of holes in the game. And I just hope that from here, there's improvement and there's changes that will be made that will improve the team. But guys, I just wanted to give you my post-match reaction. I'll give more videos giving my thoughts, and as the season develops, hopefully there will be improvements and there will be changes that will be made. But as such, guys, that's what my part. I just wanted to give you a brief insight into what I saw, and guys, more will come. Again, guys, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and I appreciate your support for the ones who have liked, subscribed, and given comments. I like engaging with you guys. I appreciate it, you guys, and thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye. Sharp.